This episode of the Devinwade Show is brought to you by Ace the Engineer, the only other audio engineer I trust to mix the Devinwade Show. If you want your stuff to sound professional, make sure to hit up Ace the Engineer, unless he's with like Beyonce or Patti LaBelle or some shit like that at the moment. Follow Ace the Engineer on IG at Ace the Engineer.
Dev Nasty.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to an all-new episode of the Devinwade Show. I'm your host, Dev Nasty, a.k.a. Dangerous Dev Nasty, a.k.a. Choke Your Mama, a.k.a. Choke Your Pop Out. And today, I look like I choked out a grizzly bear or a wolf or something like that. Because they make it fun. Yeah, I choked out a Yeti. What's a Yeti?
Snow.
It's like an abominable snowman.
Oh, that's like the white word for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And obviously Monica is white and everything, but to the left of me.
You already know it's your girl Walesca D, the fashionista. Today, I'm just repping my friends' brands today. I got Original Distinct on. I got Lavello on. Shout out to my homegirl, Alnika. We just crushing shit. And to the left of me.
Y'all know what it is, man. It's Double P. I'm here with all positivity. It's all pressure. It's just a lot of P's going on, man. I'm ex-pirate. Y'all know. I don't got to put y'all down.
Pressure bust pipes.
Whoa. That sounds
She's a close friend of mine, so she knows things that...
Listen, and of course
Not
we got
that
the listen. We got the Nasty Girls with us, of course, to the left of me.
It's in city, and you know I got all this fishnet stocking shit on. I'm feeling a little nasty. I'm
okay.
feeling like a nasty girl today, a real one.
Okay, and of course we got the mixed mud with the big
butt.
butt.
Yeah.
Also known as your favorite mulatto, Monica, and Sin got me out here just
naked.
Just holes.
You got a whole bunch of fish stuff going on, too. You better look like
Who said
Anetta.
girls only got 3 holes?
Like your name, Anetta.
You better go fishing, me and Sin.
Why wouldn't it have just been a net?
All right.
Why if she looked like a net?
Yeah, Anetta was like more a little exotic to me, but I like Annette.
Annette definitely is
like
giving
hood.
like
She
old
living
school.
like Crestbury.
Right. Annette do live in Crestbury.
Annette sound like Tamarack.
And that sounds like a 68-year-old woman.
I'm saying this giving old lady.
But what's up with y'all today, man?
Man,
What's up?
listen, y'all already know the vibes, man. We here. Oh, you know, I do got something. I don't know if you got something for the right from the gate. I know you got something. But I'm just,
I'm trying to figure out what's going on because she just...
I got something that's like a serious situation for real, to kind of like start it off a little serious.
We always started off serious when we dressed like
is
strippers.
One of my homies shared his situation with me, and I asked him, you know, could I, without mentioning any names, of course, could I share it with the people to kind of like ask you guys? I want to know, what would you guys do in a scenario, right, where like you have a sister, right?
Real quick, what is she laughing about?
It's serious.
No,
Come
I
on.
just can't stop. Damn, why you always
Listen. We about to talk about something I don't know.
She been talking about getting high lately.
No.
Oh, because
Maybe-
Wally been
Yeah.
silly as shit lately,
yeah.
yo.
She's off
I
the
don't know
edibles.
She's
what
been talking about high, mushrooms high, weed highs. I don't know which one she may have done today.
Okay.
And she gonna look, she like,
Whatever
my son.
she did, I want some.
That's how Kaden be trying to stop laughing. Kate be like, okay, that just...
Yo,
You gotta...
I was in Arizona with her for a week and she was tripping out there, like tripping.
I guess it was the altitude. Like, what did they say? The air.
You know what? You about to get on some science
go
shit.
ahead.
Go ahead. What is
Right,
going
right.
on, Rich?
This is
No.
serious. I want to be serious.
No. It's pretty serious. And I
Okay.
want to get the people's opinions like this because I've seen stuff like this or heard of stuff like this in the communities before, in like ghetto communities. My homie, his sister, she's a struggling like kind of like addict. She got an addiction, and she's been back and forth on these drugs. And when she kind of like gets on these drugs, you know, she hits the streets. She be running the streets, and in these streets, my man told me that he do believe that his sister has done like sexual things, sexual encounters, you know,
Sexual acts
for like money and things of that situation. Now, recently, a thing happened where like his sister was kind of like, I think like a deal went wrong I'm assuming like it went sour, and I don't know exactly how, and he don't really know how to feel because he know that his sister be out there doing stuff like this, and it's a situation now where they trying to say like his sister was like assaulted, like it's like almost like a robbery and like rape type situation.
Oh wow.
Hold on. So she was. All right. So she was. You're saying that she's saying that she got raped and robbed.
Right. Okay. I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
I
But
believe
what's
so,
Is she asking her brother for retaliation?
Because I mean, basically, what my man knows and understands, like I know and understand, is that like a lot of times when these situations kind of like happen, right? You got a female that actually kind of like does things and sex acts for money and things of that nature, and
Now all of a sudden-
sometimes when a deal goes sour, and
But what's the question?
Yeah.
I'm confused. You didn't. What's the issue? Like I understand that happened, but what's the question?
like whose side should you take? Whose side is kind of like, I guess, should he
take his
should
sister's
he
side
be
or
on?
should he?
Yeah,
or
he's-
take whose side? Who's the other person?
the other person that they trying to say, I guess whoever she was trying to do a sexual act with, the customer.
All right, so hold on, time out.
The customer who now they trying to, who obviously, I guess, I don't know if
Are
he
you trying to
didn't-
ask what does he want the outcome to be of
No,
the
I think-
situation?
I think
Is the
this
sister asking
hold
for
on,
help?
Hold on, time out. This is what happened. Basically, you're saying that this woman is accusing someone of raping her, right? She's accusing.
robbery, rape type situation. Yeah,
So is it robbery or is it rape or is it both?
it's both.
Okay, so they raped her or whomever. Was it one person, two people?
One person.
One person raped her and stole what from her? Did they
I don't
say?
even know.
They
I don't even
Okay.
know if it matters.
So basically, now you want to know. He wants to know: should he believe his sister
Correct.
of what she's saying,
Or what he should do about it?
Based off of the knowledge that he has, should he stick with her side, or should he be like,
Should he?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Should he-
It's not about. It's not about taking a side though. So it's not about taking a side. You're saying like what stance should he have on it? So in general, the person deals in a shady underworld of illegal sexual things and things like that,
Right.
and now something like this takes place. If he would never stand with the other person.
Not stand,
right. But the only way he even would stand with the other person is if the other person was somebody he knew that he felt
Right.
like wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So based on it being a random stranger that did that, obviously we would never say stand with those people.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that he has to necessarily believe what happened with his sister.
And you said he has knowledge of his sister
He
doing
just
these
listen.
things.
He told me like he really like feel bad because he know information that he feel like. Of course, these police now and the people who's investigating this situation don't know. They don't know that his sister be out there and she trick from time to time and do shit like that.
So see, these is the parts you leaving now.
No,
so
I said that. I said
No,
that.
no.
you didn't say the police.
I knew what you meant.
I said it. I said somebody. It's a case. I said somebody got arrested, and they saying that he
No,
robbed.
you
and
never
raped.
mentioned
No, you
arrest.
never mentioned
You
that at
never
the
mentioned
beginning.
no arrest.
So what I'm saying is, so I didn't know it was a thing where he's the only person that's knowledgeable about the deals that go bad.
Well, not only him, the whole community know how that. I think everybody in like hoods and ghettos
So
know how that
his
shit
sister.
can go sometimes.
But
and
what
how
I'm
that
saying
shit
is, if
be.
the people, we weren't privy to the story. I think you're asking it more like we know. We don't know that the police that's involved don't know that this was a prostitute getting raped.
Right.
You know, which the way it all gets handled, it's not
not
right.
gonna-
It's
yeah.
not right either way. But it's two big, different, drastic worlds of how they're handling whether a lady was jogging in a park and got raped or got attacked at her car, or whether they were planning to have sex and they just beat them on the money in a sense.
Right.
Because that, in a sense, women would say was rape too. If they were supposed to exchange something and the person didn't. Now you talking about a physical assault because did they beat her up too?
He don't. Nah, she didn't look like nothing that they can like prove. You know what I'm saying?
So it's
like
his
as far
brother-
as like really like putting his like somebody really like put their hands on her or crazy. No, I just feel as though it's one of them situations where like she probably felt like, if she didn't call the cops and do some, or she was mad, spiteful, because in a lot of them situations, and for real, this could go from a low level to a high scale level with like women who like do these type of deals.
Yeah, but
right?
we're talking specifically about a person
yeah.
who's
This is like an actual human that's your people's.
right,
And
and is on drugs and exchanges sex for drugs and, does other things. So it's just like,
I don't want to say
the perspective
way
different.
It makes us want to kind of think, and I'm not saying this is the right way to think, but it's kind of making us feel like she didn't get drugs and he took what he wanted to get anyway, and she didn't get what she wanted out of the situation, and now she's calling rape.
Right.
It could be possible.
That could be possible.
No, that's
how it's
definitely
making
a great
it sound.
example because that happens. That happens in the hood when things of that nature, or you might not do the proper service that the guy is looking for.
Or no, she was expecting to receive something. He probably didn't have it this time, but he was like, you still gonna give me what you came here for. It could have been like that. So she could have had expectations of having sex with him, but because she didn't get what she wanted out of the deal, now it's considered rape because I only complied to having sex with you if you did something for me. Since you did not do something for me, I did not comply.
And even in a lot of other cases, she could have got the money, right? Got the money, decided that once she had the money to not perform or finish what she was supposed to finish.
And I'm not knocking out on a victim because it
now
really
dude
happened.
gets upset
And does some crazy shit.
Now dude is saying something, I don't know, maybe he grabs you. I don't know, maybe he puts his hands on you, God forbid. But even if he's saying something crazy, now in her brain, and mind you, we talking about like in this situation, I know, and these situations they've happened before. We're like, we talking about a drug addict, somebody who is really like wants to stay using these drugs. Like you don't want to go to jail and do none of this, so you don't want to be responsible. They'll flip the whole scenario.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like he comes from that type of environment. He knows like his people's lifestyle, and he just is trying to like.
So real quick, so this is what it really depends on, right? Because I just be trying to, make sure that this is a clear objective to what we're talking about. So if it's me and I got another fake sister that doesn't exist, and this is her lifestyle, and this thing happens to her,
right.
When you're asking me what side should I take or what stance should I take, I could still be kind of supportive of my family member if I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, am I riding out to go and bang the bull or something like that? No, not in this scenario. No, maybe now in a
she
different.
Put herself in the
If
situation.
it wasn't
Is that why?
It's because in our lives, period, a lot of our family members and people, not just that, they live lifestyles that put everybody in jeopardy.
If I want to ask y'all this, right, real quick. If the bull, right, when he was arrested for the accusations, if he told the police the truth, right, or what it really was, like, yo, I was trying to trick her, a sexual act. And I'm saying whatever. You as the brother or y'all as the sisters, right? You know that. Like she's really done that before and been in that type of field before. And the police ask you, let's say they ask you, they investigate this case, they try and find out about your sister.
Do you know about your sister doing this in the past?
Do you stand on the truth? Or do you kind of like
say, I don't know what she was
hide the
doing.
truth because you don't really, you know your sister is being that mix.
That's a tough one.
That's where kind of like he came at me. We're like, that's why, and it's my fault for kind of like probably not laying it out the proper way in the beginning. But that's kind of like where he came at me, where I was like, well, this is, I didn't know what to tell him. So I'm like, it's something like, for real, if you don't mind, I might want to ask the team.
So this is important. You got to look at it as everything. So you know how everybody changes the rules when something becomes sexual. We talk about that all the time with like telling, snitching, or who should actually go to jail. Free all the killers, but don't free the rapists, or all that type of shit, right? So at the end of the day, you got to start looking at things somewhat the same and say, if my son is shot, I'm staggering the whole situation by not saying, yeah, my son do deal in the streets. Because I'm painting a fake thing like he just work at Starbucks and he, for some reason, niggas just mowed him down randomly. Yeah. It doesn't help.
It's going to take them longer to get to the X
It definitely don't, because when you lie and then they find out that a lie is told right off the rip, it kind of like shoots your credibility. And now it's like, what else are you hiding?
And it just impedes on the whole investigation. Like, sometimes it needs to be known, yo, yeah, my sister works those streets.
Right.
It can help narrow down, catch the person involved, things like that.
And it doesn't mean that person deserved getting murdered or getting raped because of they run the streets. Yeah. That doesn't make it right either way.
Right.
So being honest from the jump would support the whole thing.
Right.
Not trying to think like, oh my God, this innocent woman got
Like
and it's
it just happened from random painting the picture and figuring out how these things took place. The details matter. Because at the same time, police will be mad that the police not doing their job, but their actual job is not to be a predictor or a magician. It's to investigate and ask questions that get it to
because you really can't arrest nobody off of a prediction. You have to have
correct.
And we get upset when police officers make their own accusations. So we can't be mad
and part of the problem.
Yeah, and be part of the problem and not really tell the full story. Because if you want them to create their own accusation, then you're going to be mad at the outcome, right? So you rather just be honest and be like, listen, my sister, she is a known prostitute. She does, exchange sex for drugs or whatever. And she has done this.
But they're not going to want to say that because they're not going to
it's going to hurt her case
or go as hard.
It's going to take away some of her victim credibility.
But in these type of situations, right, especially if we think like she lying, right? Especially if we think she lying, right? And we've known our people to lie. And especially if they look like they about to get in some trouble and they finesse themselves out of something.
Right.
I just feel like, we got to give the other person a fair shot. And that's why I like what Dev said, just let the police go ahead and do their proper work and do what it is that they do, because it's just far too many situations like this. And it's kind of like how my man felt. Like, it'd be far too many situations like this where, because you playing in a dangerous field anyway, I guess, if you out here and you tricking, prostituting in any way, because these situations can go left if demands are not met and certain things that you expected are not met. So I just feel like it could go left, bro, but, the proper investigation is like the proper way to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like
investigation, yes.
Because too many people get like...
But you still need him to say, like, so you're basically saying just have the cops do the investigation without his information?
Nah, he's saying give it. He's saying give it.
I'm just saying get everything. Yeah, get everything.
You got to put everything on Front Street.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is the life you chose. I'm sure that him and his sister have had plenty of conversations the way we have with people in our family about being in similar things. Being in the street, you telling them it ain't going to be but so many times you going to be out there before somebody rob you, before somebody shoot you, before something happen. You can't be out here just acting like, I don't know why they shot you, whatever. And for me, like I said, I could support that person and say, yeah, we trying to find them. We're going to give them this information without me having to go out and ride. I'm not riding out for that now. On the contrary, I could see myself doing that shit where if my sister's not involved in that type of lifestyle and something goes
left
like that, something like that happens, and now I feel like I know who did that, I'm going to go bust that move. But what I will say is, even in those cases, sometimes your sister that you love so much will tell a fucking lie. I end up riding out with somebody to New York over a situation. It wasn't even mine. That was like third party. It was like my man was going because something happened to his sister up there. And it was more of a, like a domestic abuse type situation, right? So I'm like, well, if you roll, I ain't gonna let you roll up to motherfucking Brooklyn, nigga. We don't know them niggas by yourself. We going up there. So we went up there like 3 deep, end up in this Brooklyn project. Shit turn shootout. It's a nigga on a roof busting off a shotgun on the top of this project building. Yeah, like crazy. Terrible. But the crazy part is we went through this whole night of hell, right? To find out that his sister was the aggressor in the situation, was the one that was punching on the bull. He was basically on some like kind of trying to defend himself. Neighbors watch, but was she calling down to Camden to her brother, like, yo, he put his hands on me, he did this. Come
rock this nigga.
So one, anything could have happened to us when we was up there. I could have not made it home. Yeah. Could have ended up killing somebody or fucked up about some shit that you was mad, y'all was beefing about, whatever dumb shit y'all was beefing about.
Yeah. Right.
And
you put your hands on him, it escalated, and now you want to call sick dogs on them. So you can't jump the gun in even those type of situations. It's very difficult to hear that your family member was assaulted in any way and not take action.
Right.
It's very difficult, but think about it. Every person that ever lied was related to somebody.
Yep.
That's a crazy thing to have to deal with.
And you just right that there's so many situations that represent the actual same like thing.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing you just mentioned is really like the same thing of this, where like people put themselves in like danger and in dangerous situations, and you dealing with some shit where shit can kind of like go left or go fucked up at any point, and then when it does, you looking to like play the victim.
Yeah, because a person is like help. Because it's like this. At the end of the day, I'ma say it's not play the victim because you are a victim. But what I will say is, you are putting yourself in a position where people look at you as a less valuable person. They almost look at you like property, like I bought something. Right. I'm ordering something. I don't have respect for you because you're for sale. That's how they feel in their minds. And that's why it's important for our people to not put themselves in situations. A lot of women are in those situations and they don't look at it like they're in those situations because they're not on drugs, fucking for drugs or fucking for $40. They're on a super expensive trip, getting paid thousands of dollars for the weekend. But a lot of them dudes too.
Same situation.
Them dudes that'll have you out in Dubai and all that type of shit.
Bust your shit up.
Bust your shit up because, yo, I spent $7,000 on you. I spent that money, bitch. I could do whatever I want to you. That's what they think in their mind. You cannot put yourself in a position where you are rented to someone in a sexual nature at all, because now you putting yourself in a world, in an underworld full of people that will do some wild shit.
Right, and it gives the perception. It gives the perception to that person if you are renting yourself, you know, and trying to go to these extravagant places. Just know, not saying that even though they paid for that you deserve to get hurt or raped. Not saying that. What I'm saying is that you are making that person believe that you want them. And in all actuality, you really don't want them. So why would you put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to be in the same bed as this person unless y'all come to some type of terms?
So I want to be clear. So what Wally is more saying is not the dude that literally said, $7,000, come out here, I'm gonna pay you on this vacation and we fucking and I'm paying you. The niggas that where the nigga that fly you out, the nigga that fly you out, spend all this money. Y'all didn't talk about it as being transactional, but we kind of just know the temperature and what's going on out here, that a dude don't meet you on IG and want to blow $12,000. In his mind, he's expecting something, and we know that he's wrong for doing whatever he does that is against your wishes, but just know that these type of people, you're putting yourself more in the crosshairs to run into these type of people. Sometimes a lot of people that get what they want and get money when they want, they feel like they're supposed to get whatever they want whenever they're supposed to get it.
It almost reminds me of like, you know, just the same thing with us as the fellas, you know, when we kind of like put ourselves around, because I be mindful of this now, right? That I'm older and I'm 40 plus something years old and I survived so much shit in the hood. Like, I don't be wanting to be around these situations and around people and crowds where people kind of like just still glorifying this killing shit. And everybody want to be a motherfucking murderer. And everybody okay with the murder shit. Because it's like almost like I can't really like, it's like my people's is going like, yeah, they going to be fucked up. God forbid something was ever happened to me. But they, you know, they got to kind of like, you got to kind of like look at like, yo, you putting yourself around all motherfuckers who in the smoking shit and constantly talking it. You know what I'm saying?
The same way if you put yourself around millionaires all day, you bound to be the next one.
That's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. So, you know, we just definitely got to be mindful because it's the same situation for the ladies and for the men on what you putting yourself around. And then people also need to be mindful of what you putting out, because some people might wonder why people don't want to be around. Or why people don't want to be in your presence.
So the important part about this whole thing is just because a person deals in a certain lifestyle, just because a person, you know, sells their body or has an addiction or whatever like that, does not mean that for certain that act didn't happen to them. That's not what that means at all.
Right.
But we do know that there's other elements that come with that. So my advice, and I'm not no expert, but would be do not jump off a fucking cliff for that person in that scenario. That's just me. Do not jump off the cliff. You provide whatever information you can to help that investigation, because at the end of the day, it's not just about your sister or whatever. Right. It's other motherfucking people that, you know, there's been serial killers that only preyed on prostitutes. That didn't make, they're a serial killer. They killed fucking 30 women that were in that business. You have to be able to give the right information so they could find out, okay, this dude is hunting down these type of women, so that the next person, because it's all your sister already got violated. Right. Let's make it where the next woman doesn't get violated, no matter what part of life it is. Bad enough you're at a low point of life where you're an addict and you feel like you have to sell yourself to get high.
That's what I think.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I think my man was kind of like, where he was stuck at, just trying to juggle, because it's his sister. You know, he want to like support her in whatever way he can, but at the same time, like, you got this person and the people already asking questions. You know, everybody who she probably been around already done said what it really is. If they went and investigated the area where like she be at or whatever, and this shit she might have met this guy. Everybody around that area is already saying like, yeah, she's a frequent, you know, hooker or prostitute or whatever in the area. So he kind of feel like if he say something different than that, does it really even help anyway? If you look like you trying to lie for your people.
Yeah. And I even think on her behalf, it's better for her to be honest. Say, this is what happened. I was working the streets.
Right.
And this guy did this to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to some of those people, they feel like they stealing from the store. Like, this is for sale, but I just stole it from the store. Yeah. That's how they feel. Them same dudes will make it up in their mind that they'll rape a lady that does sex work, but they wouldn't do it to a lady that doesn't do sex work, because in their mind, oh, she do it anyway. Right. You know what I mean? Dead wrong as fuck. But we know that these mindsets exist. So people, be careful out there no matter what you doing, because it's people that'll do that and all you doing is stripping. Don't get it confused. Don't think because you know you don't sell you sell sex. It's people in their mind that'll make up in their mind that, oh, they came here to a party, it's 2 of them, and it's 15 niggas, and they ain't here shaking their ass. We want to fuck, and they going, please be careful out there. That's why women, when you even in those situations, you're supposed to bring bodyguard with you. You're supposed to bring a men along with you when you doing those performances and shit and like that.
And be honorable, even though it's kind of like some crazy type work, right? If we are talking about that type of shit, but be honorable. If you selling sex, and you know, you got to understand kind of like, I don't know, because it's so, that shit get crazy. Like, but I feel like you got to understand what that kind of like come with when somebody pay. It's like, that needs to be, y'all probably kind of like need to discuss that, like details and shit. Like
but I think this is beyond discussion. I do. I think that when you're dealing in this type of shit, just like the streets, bro. How many agreements did you have with niggas during the streets and they just violated their agreement? Right. Y'all talked about how much everybody's split was supposed to be. Right. So even in them situations, a nigga will be like, man, that dick suck was whack as hell. Nah, I'm not paying you. And now it's an argument, and a nigga decide, bitch, I could take it. Like, this is the mindset of these people.
That's exactly how it go. The example you gave is exactly
all I know is that Dev, GB, and Slice are on go. Because remember that one time where I got Duce in my eye?
We thought,
my eye got infected. And they were like, GB was like, who did that to your eye? I'm like, Duce.
I thought it was a nigga.
They were like, drop the location, la la la. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
We thought it was a nigga named Duce.
Porta would have been on the same type of shit.
And you know what the sad part is? Yeah, because I'm dead wrong. Because Monica,
name was Duce.
Because Monica could have been one of these no good bitches out here and sent us on a fucking mission, and then it's the end of the Talk Heavy podcast.
Let a nigga come in her eye.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yo, we just talked about you know, the trips that these rich dudes could put you know, send you to and all that. But there's a real important question. And I want to get everybody's take on this. People talk about being rich all the time. But what is rich? How much money makes a person rich? We got certain numbers that people kind of just got in their head, or a number that if you achieve that number, you feel confident to say, I'm rich. But truthfully, what is rich?
So I feel like you can be rich in many ways. not just when it comes to financials.
I'm talking about money.
But if we're talking about money, you are rich if you have enough money to sustain the lifestyle you choose to live for the rest of your life. Whether it be you don't have you just don't have high standards for a certain lifestyle, and this is how you want to live. You're rich because you can afford what you want to afford. That's how you want to live. Or you're rich if you're a multi-billionaire and you want to have private jets and stuff like that. So being rich is my favorite thing to say in the eye of the beholder. And it really depends on lifestyle.
So if you had to pick a number.
If I had to pick a number, it depends. What am I how am I comfortable with living?
Okay.
Can I afford that?
So for example, I do agree that it has to be it varies with people.
Yeah, can I pay my bills for the rest of my life? Can I go on a trip if I want to go on a trip? Like, can I afford what I want to afford for the rest of my life? That's what makes me rich. I don't have a number. It just depends on how I want to live my life.
All right, so this is important. Can you pay that for the rest of your life? You mean you have to have that number already on deck, or you have a job that makes that amount of money?
Like you're generating
that's
that
big
much
difference, because if you think about it like this, if you've got fucking 70 years left of life, and then you only make $25,000 a year, I don't know what that math is. If somebody wants to put it on the joint and say, you make 25,000 times 70, what the fuck is that? Because I'm not doing that off
And
the
it
top.
depends.
I
Like,
was homeschooled.
0.7 million.
Okay, so if you're saying, I want to be clear. So are you saying that person needs to have $1.7 million right now, or you're saying they have the means or the job or career that brings in and supports that yearly?
You cool with the $70,000 a year too? Is what he's asking. Does the person need the 1.7 now, or are you cool with the $70,000 a year if that's all?
Yeah, because you're saying you have the amount to sustain you for the rest of your life based on where you're at. Do they need to have that lump sum right now to be able to say I'm rich, or as long as they make that yearly salary that's good enough for them, they're rich?
Ooh.
You should have it.
Yeah, I feel like they should have it, but I feel like rich people never stop working. Like Kim Kardashian owns all these businesses, and that's what makes her rich. So I feel like in order to be rich, you still got to keep on working. Like,
I mean,
rich
so
people don't stop
it's
working.
a mixed signal, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. This is important, and I want y'all opinions in the chat, because if we went by that math, then the person would still need to be a millionaire. They needed $1.7 million? $1.7 million to be rich if they said they got 70 years left of life. And even if they broke that down to $25,000 a year. So that's where the argument, I guess, comes up.
Gotcha.
Because
I guess what's
so this is
I know
where
my brain is like
this
making
is-
numbers
this
above
is-
my
Like when
head.
people say like I'm good for life, what number is that?
Yeah, so I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that what makes you rich, because put it like this. This is what I'm saying. Is a person not rich? Can you say a person's not rich and they're a millionaire?
I think that's rich.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But no,
to-
you can,
to
because if you're spending as much as you're
It
making,
don't matter. Right now, if that boy got $1 million, is he rich? Yes or no?
Yes. But
I say yes.
certain people might say no, though.
I know what I'm just saying. You don't think?
I mean, no, I think he's rich, but what happens if his bills are also
I
like?
get
no,
that,
no,
but
no,
you
she's
can't-
not-
you
he's
can-
not
But the thing is,
presently.
you could always factor in the nigga caught a crazy disease and it's going to cost him $500,000 in bills, and he's going to use all that. We could always figure out
So
something.
he's presently
Okay, then I
rich.
think
Or
he's
to get
rich.
sued.
There
and
you
then
go.
Right.
There
So
you go.
he's rich. So what that told me is that everybody here agreed that once a person is at least at $1 million, they're rich.
I feel like I shouldn't agree.
So-
To me,
like
to
to
me,
know.
to
I was
me,
forced into this agreement.
to me, it's somewhat of, it kind of like goes back to like Sin's answer to a certain extent. Like I like Sin's answer as well, because for me, $1 million, I say $1 million because of me and my life and kind of like where I come from and my life and what my life norm has been. So I think of where I know I would be good at. And when I say I, again, this means if I get $1 million, I'm rich.
I agree.
Not you. Not you. I'm rich. Because it reminds me like when Shaq said it on a show recently when he said it about his kids. He said, they not rich. I'm rich. And it means something because
Your name
He's
is
talking
rich.
about what he's worth and the empire. My kid can't go around moving like you worth all this empire too. You can't fuck it up. You gotta really, I want you to start building your own. So that's why for me, and don't get me wrong, to another person who comes from a different walk of life, his dad might have was a billionaire. His dad might have hit a billionaire in his life. So to the son, a millionaire ain't nothing.
Right.
He
Right.
like, nah, a millionaire everywhere. I know plenty of millionaires, but for me in my life, and this is what I want to tell people. This is important to know your life and not compare lives, because there's a lot of people out here doing different shit, but they come from a different place and they lives are in different chapters. And I think we kind of like fuck our own blessings up and we fuck our own shit up by comparing and by doing shit like that. So for me, that's why I said a honey bun, from a honey bun, from where I come from, I'm going to the moon. I know what's next after 1 million.
So this is the real reason why one of the reasons why I'm asking that is, if I'm 42 years old, so I was born in 1980. And in 1980, the magical number, people would say, $1 million.
Right.
$1 million was the natural number. In 1990, when I was 10 years old, $1 million.
Right.
2000, 2010, 2020. Now we talking about 40 years of difference, but that number, something about that number, 1 million. But I've also heard people say shit like, nigga, $1 million ain't shit.
Right.
I've heard people say that. And I've heard that from people that ain't never had $100,000 in their bank account. And
that's deep.
they ain't never had $50,000 in their
That's
bank
deep.
account, but they'll be like, $1 million ain't shit. So I'm somewhere in the middle of like, one, don't say it ain't shit. Because if we start talking about what the average person makes in this country, which is, I don't know if it's still like $40,000 or some shit like that.
Now more in like the 50s now.
I don't think so. I would
Google
be
it.
shocked.
Google
I would
it.
be shocked.
No,
if
I think in a lot of places
think
it's
it's
still
because
lower.
it's-
Oh,
I think it's still
and
lower.
it could
in a
be
lot of
it could be
places.
community, because it could be community as well. Because from what I see, let's say in our community, and I don't just mean the poorest like Camden.
Yeah.
A lot of jobs don't even pay $1,000 a week.
They underpaid.
Well, the thing is that ever since, just Google it.
Okay.
I feel like the dollar
y'all-
is stretched so much. Like the dollar was stretched way much more back then. So
Than it is now.
than it is now. So for Dev to say that it stayed $1 million throughout over 40 years,
That's
it's
why,
just,
listen.
it's just crazy to me because it shouldn't be $1 million anymore. It should be more because now things are costing more.
Listen,
Right,
both
but
of
the
y'all,
cost of
both of
living-
y'all,
both of y'all
right, because
minimum wage is still minimum wage.
I feel
No,
like
minimum wage.
no,
in
minimum
this
wage
state
went up a little bit.
It went up. It
It
went
went-
up. for
it
sure.
went up,
went
but
up a
everything
little
else
bit.
went up. So it feels like $15 is the new, or $15 is the old $7.
Yeah.
Like that's what it
Because
feels like.
$15 is the minimum wage now.
well, you're
So
right.
so
A lot-
think about this. This is how you play the game of averages. In order for this to be $54,000 a year across the whole country, that would include the suburbs. So so when you find the average, it's meeting in the middle.
Yep.
That means those people that's in the
But no,
suburbs.
the meeting in the middle is the medium. The average is the amount.
That's what
total.
an average is. No. An average is, out of all of these people, the average is this. If you got a bunch of people that make 40,000 and you got a bunch of people that make 60,000, it's split in half. That middle amount is going to be $50,000 or around average.
Right.
In the hood, right, or in these black communities, that average isn't $50,000.
It ain't.
It's definitely not. If you really think about it.
I know for a fact from experience that people still making, and that's why I said both of y'all right. Because Wally's right, like some people in some categories, we gotta understand that it's different. It's classism. It's different classes out here, right? And there are people who making good money, right? And 50,000, 60,000 a year, right? There are people who
I mean, but 50,000 is that good money based off of the cost of living today?
Right. It's never really
It's not. This is
It's really
this is
not.
what we say. That's what we saying is there's so many people. If you was to just like, I'm just trying to do some basic math.
Imagine making 30. Go to 30.
So think about this. If you're paying, what you think that the average rent for somebody is?
Say right now, average a
1,500.
one bedroom $1,500. I would say like
1,500.
$1,500.
All right,
And,
so-
and y'all talking about nice shit. If you go to the hood,
No, he's talking about in comparison.
if you go to the hood, they got shit.
1100.
A hood fucking ferry station probably
900.
almost $1,000.
Yeah.
They used to be 500, 600.
Exactly. Used to be
100%.
used to be 400.
Yeah.
100%, right?
When I moved
Now
into
it's
my
like-
first apartment, I was spending when I moved into my first apartment back in 2013, I was paying $740 or $795 or something like that a month.
Mm-hmm.
After a year of me living there, it went up. Now, well, before I was a homeowner, when I left my last apartment, I ended up leaving at $1,500. So it changed that much in the course of
Yeah, and
just
so
like,
that's why I'm trying to
I paid
count.
$2,000. Somebody help me.
Yeah, so
Somebody.
no, that's real shit because if you think about Maple Shade, which for people that's not from New Jersey, it's just like somewhat like suburbs of New Jersey, apartment complex out there, Park Crossing, $1,800. You know what I'm saying? So you could be, so now we sitting here and we added up $1,500 a month times 12, $18,000. Now, if everybody was making $40,000 more than that a year on average,
Right.
you wouldn't see so many people in that struggle because your main bill is usually your crib. But you see people getting evicted. It's because most of the time, if their rent is $18,000, they making, literally niggas is making like $30-something thousand a year trying to make
And
it.
they want you to make 3 times the rent in 1 month. That's
We
crazy.
know for a fact, I won't get into all the categories, but teachers and a lot of other people out here
Correct.
are underpaid.
Correct.
No,
They're
100%.
underpaid because
Correct.
you're trying to tell me that you're giving these people these crumbs and they're supposed to devote their lives
We
to
know
the-
cops that get 40,000.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like starting rate for like entry level being a police officer.
No wonder they be upset.
And the crazy
they
thing
doing
is, it's
crazy
like
shit.
the people teaching the kids go in, they get these nice jobs, and they end up making money surpassing the people that taught them everything they know. And I just think that's crazy.
Yeah. So for me, that's where I'm trying to figure out, like, what's y'all opinion on what's rich? Because a lot of times we throw around certain words, right? Or we shoot down certain words, but we're vague. We're not thinking about what it really means. So when we talk about kids that grew up in a nice area, we'll say shit like, oh, that nigga don't know about struggling. He grew up rich, right? We
Right.
say that all the time.
Right.
People say it about famous people like Drake. He grew up rich when he proclaims like, yo, yeah, I worked on this network. I got paid 50 grand a year. And my mom was sick and I was taking care of her. But people will be like, but you had a pool.
Yeah, it's also environments. They say the same thing
You
about
had a
me.
pool in your backyard.
Environments don't make you rich.
So my question is, a lot of times when people say that people are rich, they're talking about people that don't have $1 million.
Environments make you look rich. They don't make you rich.
They might have been saving up for 10 years and only got $180,000 in the bank. But you called them rich your whole life, but then you'll say another person over here that got that's not a millionaire ain't rich.
Right.
So what is really rich to you? Is a person rich if he got $500,000 in his bank account? Like his bills is all paid. He ain't in debt. He got $500,000.
That's a rich, good man.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what the fuck that was. Monica just broke a chair or something again.
just
I don't know what be
Hopefully
happening.
Yeah,
Shit's
talk
not
and make
yet,
sure
man.
you all right.
Yeah. You good, Monica? You could just leave stuff over there. You don't got to do nothing. How about just
She must
I
have
thought
had.
the
Just leave
table
it.
exploded.
She had some of that shit Wiley been fucking with.
I haven't been fucking with anything.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Hey, listen.
But
Turn
but
into
but,
a popsicle.
No, go ahead.
but no. So that's what I'm saying, because sometimes on the shows I'll ask women like these crazy like money questions, but it'll usually be something
Like,
sexual.
would you have sex for $1 million?
Would you do this? And they'll say yeah for $1 million. So
What would you do for a Klondike
So
bar?
I'll ask a question like, yo, so you saying you'll fuck that nigga for $1 million? And then I'll go, so would you fuck him for $950,000? And it always feels weird to me when they be like, absolutely not.
Is it gonna change my life?
But so what I'm saying is they're saying
Some
what
of
that,
them, but some of them really be honest about that when they say absolutely not for the 50,000 short, because I dealt with that. Where like it was like
And 50,000
trick joint. I ain't
is a
gonna
lot.
lie. At the time,
Okay.
I was Gary Tricker joint. Right, I was Gary Tricker joint, and her number was like a little steep for me. I was like, because I know the hood price. And I was like, that's like kind of crazy.
crazy.
But it's
He said,
quality.
No, listen, I was in the vehicle with this person. We was on our way, right? And I was like, that's kind of steep. I'm trying to like do my bargain shit.
wanted a
And I was
discount?
like, yeah, I definitely wanted a discount. I was like, listen, I got this, and this is what I got. Like, yeah,
wanted a
and
discount.
no bullshit. This person was like, oh, all right, we gonna go back to your spot. I'm gonna drop you off. Like, she wasn't like,
But I think,
like,
but I think there's a difference if you're dealing with even something that's a difference of $1,000 and $950. But when we talking about $1 million and $950,000,
right.
that's like you got $1 million and then you went and just copped a chain for $50,000, but you still got the $950 left. That.
See, but the difference is she doesn't have to change. That's the difference.
The $1,000 and the $950 was the same. You asking for
That's 50,000.
Yo,
That could do a lot with
But
50,000.
listen, $950 is no different from the $1,000 you asking for.
No. So I'm gonna tell you the difference. Let's say
50,000
somebody
difference.
comes to me and they want a logo design, right?
Right.
And I say to them that this logo design is going to be $750, right?
Right.
And then they say, yo, I'll give you $700. I could stand on $750. I don't need it. Now, let's say it's a production job and it's $750,000 is my price.
Right.
And they say, we got $700,000. You think I'm walking away from that gig
I
necessarily
get you.
off
I
the
get
difference
you.
of the 50
I
grand
get
when
you.
I'm going to get 3/4, you know what I'm saying, of a motherfucking
I get
ticket?
you.
So that's the difference. So I only ask those things to say, if a person is rich at $1 million, why not rich at 900,000?
Right. And I like that. The reason why I like that is because, and it goes back to like, it's really like a mindset thing, right? It's a mindset thing. And the reason why I say that is because I think about my man, right? Shout out to my man T-Bag, one of my childhood
Hey,
homies. My
T-Bag.
man, yeah, my man
T-Bag.
Teron. We gave him that name coming up, T-Bag. But he a great nigga. You know what I mean? But my man Bags one time told me, and you know, he was just talking shit. He a money getting nigga, be into his money. And he said to me one time, he said, Rich, like, I don't never want to like get like no crazy amount of money. He was like, cause I feel like the crazy amount of money come with like the crazy responsibilities, the crazy, like everything, it's a lot that come with it besides the money is what he was saying.
Okay.
So basically to him, he was saying less money, learning how to live with it and be happy with it and do your thing with that comes with less worries.
But was he also a street guy?
Yeah, he from the
So the
them
difference
streets.
is when you accumulate that kind of money in the streets, it's a real big difference just even holding on to it. Because we talking about, in a sense, mattress money, trying to figure out how to launder it.
But it's like once you get that money, you need to get out of the streets.
Yeah,
Like,
but what I'm saying is it's different to say you don't want a lot of money. When a lot of legal money, you don't got to worry. You're not in the
It's the
midst of the
illegal.
same. It's a little bit turned up.
You
So
just
it's
gotta
more
pay
money,
more
more
taxes.
problems. It's more money, more problems
Right.
with legal or illegal money.
Yeah.
But with illegal money, your man is super on point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it just made me think of like Sin's answer because again, it's like she mentioned lifestyle, you know, depending on what my lifestyle is. So my man was basically saying because of his lifestyle, he becomes rich at a quicker point than like the average people who what
Gotcha.
they need to be rich.
So this is important because so in this financial talk, right, that we're having, I hear a lot of people call each other broke. One of the biggest insults that you could give somebody is you broke ass bitch. You broke.
Start sounding like a broken record.
A rapper, when you listen to rap records, they'll diss people and say they broke. The person that they're normally dissing, saying that they broke, got
more
way
money than
more
me.
money, got more money than everybody for the most part that bought and listened to that song. So in a sense, you gotta be broke too. They talking to the listener, nigga, you broke. So the other side,
you dissing the people that paying your bills.
so
Niggas be bopping to that shit.
He called us broke.
so what's broke? What's broke?
Broke to me is like when I have nothing. I have nothing to my name. I'm literally out of my set. I have nothing.
Barely
I don't got
getting
a pot
by.
To piss. I don't
Pot to
have
piss
a
in the
pot
window
to
to
piss
throw down.
on. I don't have a bed to sleep on, and I don't have a roof over my head.
That's broke to you.
Broke to me is not.
No,
Hold on,
I can-
homeless. Hold on, wait. Homeless is broke to you? It got to be homeless?
No, I can have
No,
money
I
and still
don't.
say I'm broke.
No, because at the end of the day, if you have a roof over your head, you know how rich that is to another person who don't got that.
But I'm saying, what if? Hold on. But let's say you got a roof over your head, but it's not necessarily provided by you.
You got a roof over your head, but you ain't got no food in your fridge.
Government assistance.
Or you live
over your head.
Or like living in a shelter.
Look, living in a shelter, living in your man's crib, whatever. You could be. I could be living. I could be living in my people's crib. I could be living with my parents. And what would make me broke?
When I can't take care of myself.
Okay, I like that. That's a nice answer.
I can't take care of myself.
That's what I was gonna say.
I feel broke when I gotta tap into my savings.
For me,
okay, I like that though. I like that.
For me, I do have like there's like a fear of being like broke, right? But then at the same time, I have this thing where like it goes back to mindset for me again. Same thing with being rich, mindset. The same thing to me with being broke. As long as I
hold on, where's Wally? Where you going?
I gotta handle some business. I'll be back, y'all.
Oh, yo, where you going?
She gotta go do her shit.
Like stomach, like bubbling. Ew, like
stinky butt.
I was wondering what that smell was.
What the fuck going on?
Listen,
She over here farting and shit.
Pardon self on that, y'all. She had a little shitty run.
Yeah.
But listen, y'all, for me, like the broke, I go back to like the mindset thing because I feel like, Dev, I don't know about you, bro, but I feel like for real, to a certain extent, like you could take all my money from me and I'm still not rich. Broke. I feel like as long as, even when it comes to like my mind frame, I feel like I'm blessed by God because I'll never be broke. I'll never be broke as long as I got breath in my body.
Trying to say that in the beginning.
As long as I got breath in my body, I'm not broke. I know how to track down a dollar. Know what I'm saying?
Like, oh shit! Look, now we got.
Oh shit!
I was like about to go back. No rapper can rap.
This is what I'm like. I look like I'm about to rap, bro.
That's right.
You drop a beat that
No,
you are definitely
I'm
giving.
the new
You're giving scary spice. I was gonna say.
Nah, this fishnet though, you making me think about a rod.
Yo,
no, it's fish.
Keep your rod in your sweatpants.
No, come on, a rod.
Keep your rod to yourself.
Yo, but for real, like these are good discussions to have just for our people to have a certain mindset. For me, I do look at it like when you think about a person being broke, what is broke? I know a lot of people might be in a situation where you paid all your bills, everything's taken care of, but you don't have a bunch of money afterwards to hit the club and do all of this type of shit.
It's like paycheck to paycheck.
Like you can't swipe and not worry about your bank account.
Yeah, for me, I'ma say I don't feel like you broke.
You rich.
I'm not gonna say you rich. That's Porter's opinion.
I think you rich.
Right,
I'm gonna say you good.
I'm not gonna say you. I'm definitely not gonna say you rich. But from Dev, I'm gonna say you're not broke, and I want everybody to practice not calling themselves broke. Is a lot of importance in what you profess from your mouth all the time. I believe that 100%. When people constantly say,
it's like the opposite of manifesting.
Yeah. You don't want to. Well, you could. No, it is manifesting. You're manifesting broke.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Dev, real quick, bro, just to add in on that and build with you. And it's a cheap plug for myself. It is a cheap plug, but that's why I did a project. And no bullshit, this is from the heart. That's why I did a project called Born Rich. Right? In 2016, I released a project called Born Rich because,
I like that.
Because to me, everybody is born of value, right? Mm-hmm. It's about you really like doing like the proper soul searching, doing like the proper passion searching.
No, I really
things
like
you
that.
passionate about, things you love, right? And we could really find out what you great in, you know what I mean? And what your passions are and where you can really like strive and beat other people at, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to mention that because I got part 2 coming out. And part 2 is really like, it's amazing. It's almost done. Born Rich 2. Again, I'm talking about the same thing. I was born in Camden City. My mom moved here when she was 15 with nothing from Puerto Rico and built the little empire that my little family has now. You know what I'm saying? So I know what my mom always send me pictures every morning of little girls, pictures she find online, Google, little girls carrying water on pots on their head. And she'll send me them pictures like, yo, this how we had to take showers. This how we had to get the water to heat the food up.
Just to remind you how far you came.
Isn't that like encouraging to keep you going?
No,
because I was going to say that's why some people will keep saying that they're broke because they don't want to get comfortable. Like they'll be like, "No, I'm broke, baby." Like that they keep.
No, I think people that say I'm broke, baby, is people that basically want to tell people stay out of my motherfucking pockets. I think that's what I'm broke, baby is for.
Right.
I personally wouldn't recommend anybody referring to themselves in any way that is negative.
When I say
You know what
I'm
saying?
broke, it means I have money for me. I don't have access. I don't have access for you. I'm broke,
Like
baby.
my thing is like, you know, when you know your worth, how could you ever be broke?
Facts.
If you know your worth. How could you ever be broke if you know your worth? If you know that at the end of the day, with y'all got shit going on with y'all that, again, and we talk about this shit, you know, just with the other day when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we love y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all bring so much value to this shit in different ways.
And we
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that. We really do.
But that's part of like how I feel that we're all born rich.
Yeah.
You can never be broke. Once you figure your shit out, you always gonna be able to motherfucking live off the land and be able to go out here and shake and make some shit happen.
You were especially born rich, right?
You say what?
You were especially born rich, right?
I was
He was
special.
born Richard Nunez.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom named me that. Maybe she knew
No,
the nickname
she
was
had-
Dick. I don't know.
Oh no, so here we go. We're not going
No,
back.
she had a calling.
No,
she
no,
had a
no.
calling for you, Rich.
No, that's my
Like your
nickname.
name.
The nickname for Richard
Is
is
Dick.
Dick.
We
That
know
was
this.
William.
No.
No,
Bill is for William.
You're
Bill.
so
William is Bill because he pay him.
Monica-
Richard is Dick because he give it. It's like, nah.
anyway. Monica is very lost, very
She
lost.
always lost though. Why she always like spaced out sometimes?
Because I was homeschooled. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
why.
she was
That is why.
homeschooled, so she don't know a lot of things about society. But no, but it's very important though.
Don't let them do you like that.
As far as a person being broke, I don't think you're broke if you're you working on something, your bills is paid, you able to take care of yourself, whatever the case
If you
may
got
be.
ones just chilling on the table, you know you're not broke.
I mean,
not
I don't know.
That part.
You could be. I don't know what the exact number is, but what I will say is, as you level up in life,
Dev said, I'm broke, baby.
you know what I'm saying? As you know, I never say that.
No, 'cause- never mind.
No. I never even say it in that regard. What
Closest me and Dev might say to broke is like,
No, I was
shit
saying
is tight.
because
Yeah,
I was saying it because you said I'm broke, baby, means stay out of my pockets, and she said you're not
Yeah.
broke if you have the one. So I said, Dev said I'm
Oh
broke,
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can stay
yeah.
out
You
of my
can
pockets.
stay out of my pockets. But what
Thank you.
but really, what I'm saying is, when people, when you could look at different levels of your life, if you're constantly working on something or working towards something, and you could remember, if you come from the bottom, you could remember where you didn't have no money. You had to get money from other people, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Then you could remember when you had $500, you felt like you had money. We talking the hood. Then you remember when you had 1,000. So if you paid all your bills and you had enough money to eat and make it to the next check, you was good with that. Then something happened in your life where you went up a little bit
Right.
and you had a little bit more money where it's like, I can eat and I can go to a restaurant sometime or go on a date, right? And then it continued. Now it was, I could do that and I could put something in my savings or put something towards a vacation that I'm gonna take. And it grew over time. So what you realize is when you have money in the bank, you develop, I notice a lot of people have different fear levels.
Right.
So at one time you could remember when your fear level was $500 and whenever it dropped below that, you were scared. Then it became 1,000. Then it became 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. You start getting to the point where you see 20,000, and when it dropped below the 20,000, you start getting the same fear that
I
you
get anxiety.
got that you used to get when it went to $70. So that's your growth.
Right.
And it will continue, even if you're sitting there with 70, 80. Some niggas that's millionaires, they might look at their joint like, oh shit, I got $1.3 million now.
Right.
Because I used to have 3 million in there and now I'm worried.
It's really funny that you say that because me and Andrew just had this conversation because his dad is getting their whole house remodeled. His dad is like, he takes a while to do change. So his mom for a long time wanted to buy a new house. He said, I'm not buying a new house. She finally convinced him to get the trees cut, the new siding, the new kitchen. He's spending like $150K on his house. And as he's spending it, he's like freaking out. And Andrew's like, yo, dad, like chill, you're good. But his dad has never made such a big purchase in his life. And he's like going through it. And he like, I don't think he's stressing, but he's just like nervous because I don't think he's made a big purchase.
It's going so fast.
And and watching it all go so fast is
Watching
just
that
nerve-wracking and
number
anxious.
change
Dramatically
is
that
scary,
fast is very
especially
scary.
in in investments. Matter of fact, shout out to my motherfucking brother-in-law and shit, Los and shit. So I ended up end up playing the stocks like 2 years ago. I don't want to play the stocks. I don't fuck with it. And I did
First of all, it's not playing. I don't know
Whatever.
what the fuck
I
you
know
talking
Andrew's
about.
trying,
You act like
Andrew's
it's
trying to
fucking-
convince
like
me to do
it's
that
Street
too.
Fighter,
No,
nigga.
because the shit is gambling to me.
It's a risk.
No, same.
It's not.
So when they say play the stock
guaranteed.
market, so everybody was making all this money. Don Michael Jr., all my niggas, they all in there. You got to get on this stock shit. And I'm the type of person that be like, man, fuck all that stock shit. I just make my
I'm the
money.
same
I just
way.
make my money. I don't risk nothing. So I'm seeing everybody doing it, and they like, oh, you got to, bro. It's the mature thing to do. And I'm thinking, I'm mature. I got a real career. I make real money. I want to be mature too. I want to have investments, right? So I go and follow their blueprint. I jump on the joint and I invest in all of
You
this
seen
shit,
that
right?
shit drop? You shit
Yo,
your pants.
That shit dropped. The shit dropped literally not even 30 seconds after I put my money in.
And you had a
So
panic
look,
attack.
But we talking about on like 4 different things. They all went low.
It's a long-term game. You
Yeah.
gotta wait like 10 years to see that
so
shit
I'm
skyrocket.
tripping and they laughing like, bro, it does that all day. You relax. So then by the end of the day, it still didn't move. Then everybody looking a little nervous.
You keep checking like.
Now it's been 2 years. That shit been in the negative like crazy, right? My man telling me, fuck it, bro. Just buy more. I didn't put nothing crazy.
Right.
I just threw 5 bands in. I'm like, if I'm gonna jump in this, I'm not wilding. I'm gonna
Right.
I'll throw 5 bands in there, y'all.
Right.
So
Where
I
your
get
5 bands at today?
niggas low as fuck. What the fuck you talking about? My shit went negative.
put more
nigga.
in? Or you did it
No,
listen?
But do you understand that we in a crash market?
No, I understand that. So
Everything
this
is
is
low.
this is what I'm explaining, Porter. This is what I'm saying.
It's a long-term game. He gotta
so
wait.
what I'm saying is you
waited 2
remember,
years.
remember.
No, it takes
no,
like 10.
what happens is you just say fuck that money. It's gone. That's how you look at it.
Oh, you don't even think about
You
it.
should.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
You should, because it shouldn't have been money that you needed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
You
how you
should.
do it. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I'm telling y'all is,
5,000.
basically, you throw the bread in there, and then he called me. He like, yo, you still got the shit in Weeble? Weeble is like the app or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I ain't never touched that shit. So he like, yo, go look at that shit.
Check your shit right now.
Right.
So I go and look at it. So in one of those Johns, it had leaped up like 1,500 in that particular one. You still losing in the other ones.
Right.
But you're not negative no more.
But we're talking about, when you talk about shares and shit like that, you're talking about something you bought at $1 a share that is now $10 a share.
Right.
So when I look in there and it's like, oh shit, it's up plus 1,500 or whatever like that.
Right.
And you know, you get those hints and things where people are like, yo, this pharmaceutical joint, they about to do a merger here or they about to pass this FDA.
Right.
Where my man, he was up crazy because he kept throwing more money in there.
Right.
I was like, man, fuck that shit. I'm not fucking with that shit no more.
Right.
You know, needless to say, yesterday I went and threw a
sold
whole
it?
bunch of money. No. I
mean-
won't cash out. I kind of look at it like, so when we talk about what's rich, right?
Right.
Also, sometimes that question is, how much do I want to make off of a stock? Meaning, when it hits 20, do I pull it?
Right.
When it hits 100, what am I waiting for? Honestly, I don't know. I'll probably let it go all the way up and then it'll crash off.
No.
That's like the slot machines. You win all that money
I
back.
mean-
You click that button, you lose it all.
Real quick, just because we talking about stocks and investing, that's a great
Yeah.
example because I've done that a few times, right? Where I was up and then I thought like, I'm going to the moon and then it crashes, right? But I do, just while we on stocks and investing real quick, and I love that, Dev, I love that you still dumping money in there, right? Because you're still going, you still fighting for what, you believe in. I know it's been hard on certain days for you to believe.
Yeah, I don't believe in that shit.
But
I just do it.
For
like
me,
a pastor
no,
for a
because,
second.
He said,
because
"I
I
don't
want to give
believe."
y'all, because I want to give y'all a different perspective. I've been investing for 3 years, for 4 years, 3 years now, since 2019, since the beginning of the pandemic. I took a class where I was paying $40 a month. Shout out to the Wall Street Trapper. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure as well. I follow Troy. I follow Rashad. I'm hip, right? I've been doing this for 3 years. I won't get into no specific numbers with me, right? Because there's no need for y'all to have that.
He
But
up.
no.
No, he broke, baby, as in stay out of my
But
pockets.
real quick, I just want to give a different, just a different perspective so people can. Investing is not a bad thing. We should be looking into it. We should try to learn things. For me, I've been investing for 3 years. And let's say if I invested $1,000 in the last 3 years, right, in increments of 30, 20, 10 here, 30, 20, 10 here, right? Today, 3 years later, I still have $1,000. And I'm proud of that. I'm happy to say it because I've learned about positioning myself. I've learned about finding the real companies and how they really operate and their history and things of that nature. And I've done that and been able to, like I said, I've done that and I've taken out $4,000. In the 3 years, I've taken out $4,000. Besides that, I believe I'm in great positions that when the market corrects itself, the $1,000 that I've invested over the 3 years that I still have now, and that's what I call a great position, great positions. I believe when the market corrects itself and everything everybody starts spending money again in the economy, a lot of this dumb shit that we going through die down. I believe that's where I'll see all my real gains and my wins for my patience.
Well, a lot of people
you mentioned patience, which is
a lot of people do that. Like if you think about it from this standpoint, like a lot of people do that just on some regular shit. Like he said, he's using $4,000 as just a measuring stick for y'all. But I know plenty of my homies, they don't put a whole bunch of money in there, but then they make money out of it. They pull that shit out and they leave in a certain amount just to keep there because your bank account don't make you hardly nothing.
Nothing.
So they would just be like, well, fuck it. I use this damn near like my bank account. And to them, it almost feels like
they're gaining
free money.
interest.
And
it feels like free money.
And the bank account, just like these brokers and these apps that they have, like Robinhood and things of that nature, the bank is using your money.
Yeah, they invest
using
your money.
You got $20,000 in the bank for a whole year and come back and it's $20,002.
Yeah. I got a question for y'all real quick before we get out of here.
My bank gave me like $20. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because they try. Somebody in there.
I want to get into before we get out of here. I want to get into another was hot now is not, man. You know, I want us to do a was hot now is not. Let's shoot it
I got
over.
like 3.
Okay, well we gonna shoot it over to Monica.
I got my notes though. So
Why you do that? I'm stealing y'all's. I'm gonna say it right now.
You don't even know what it's called.
I'm about to say it. Garbage pals, garbage man pals.
Yo, she's done.
Garbage pals.
She's done. First
was
off,
hot and now it's not. If it was ever hot, who knows?
What she called him, Dad? What she just called him?
First off, this is what
Garbage
happened.
pals.
I'm explaining this.
Garbage pals.
A lot of times, our nasty girls, they're babies. We're older. And me and Porter will be talking about certain shit and they don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, right. God.
There was a thing called Garbage Pail Kids.
I was close.
And with the Garbage Pail Kids, there was these cards. And on those cards were these disgusting kids, brains out, digging up their nose, farting dookie, just whatever, snot. And kids used to collect these cards with these nasty
Were
looking
these like
characters.
those beans and then you could open the beans and they had like the nasty characters inside of them that
No.
went with the cards?
I would almost want to.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
No.
Yo, I would almost want to bet.
These vintage motherfuckers we got up in here.
Dev, I would almost want to bet. Hey, yeah, make me another drink, bro. I would almost want to bet. Listen, Dev, I would almost want to bet that Garbage Pail Kids might be worth something if somebody still have those cards. What do you think?
It could be. If you had them Jones mint is possible. But that was like a real thing. So how she going to use a was hot now is not about some shit that she never even heard
can
of
I go
before?
next?
Because it's not hot.
Go ahead,
Can I go next?
Go ahead, bro.
And it's crazy because she just gave me one. I wrote a couple down earlier, but she just gave me one.
Good, because I stole yours, so I guess I owed you that.
No, you stole mine and you stole ours.
Yeah.
Made me think of another one that's in the same lane.
Cool, so I paid
Right?
your back. We even.
Was hot, now it's not. A toy from our era. I don't know why they're not doing it no more. Mad Balls.
Mad balls.
Yo, no.
Mad Balls.
I swear to God, listen, I swear to God on my life.
Come on.
While we were sitting there,
What?
Mad balls popped into my
I'm
head.
glad I
don't
bring
know
it.
what those are.
But that's
Yo.
listen, me and you like somewhat like
Yeah,
of
we're the
twins.
same- yeah.
We have like a lot of similarities.
No, just admit it. Sin City give y'all
Look,
mad balls. Like-
Mad balls would be like it's like
You
a
did give us
it's
both
like
mad balls,
it's like if you
balls.
turned a ball that you play with into a zombie is almost the best way to say it. So it's like a baseball, but it's a face on it and it's stitching the brains
Oh my
is
God,
hanging
they
out.
they had football shaped like that. They had basketball shaped like that.
Nah,
I know
the
this
illest.
one.
Mad
They
balls.
was the illest because
I
they
don't
used
know
to.
what's-
And
I
they
ain't
had
gonna hold you.
faces like molded into them.
Whoever created them and whoever they had
I
around them,
remember
like
that.
their team, they had to have like my man. My man is an amazing graphic designer, right? An amazing designer
Yeah,
and
right.
guy that could draw. I just
Monica
feel
is
like
a fucking idiot.
I just feel
You
like
know what? Dev is the graphic lord.
back
graphic
then they-
god.
no, for real.
Yo, Dev is definitely the type to want that, like in bed, like the my lord shit.
You know how Dev.
Wait,
you know
I
how
say
know-
that to Andrew,
listen,
I go, yes,
you know
my
how I
lord.
know- You know how I know.
Just
Dev,
joking, though.
You know how I know Dev one of the best at that shit since we there real quick.
Yeah.
Because Dev can't even do it. Dev can't even do it to the point where like how people need him. He can't even feel the fucking
demand.
orders.
Yeah, the demand.
Yeah, he can't even feel the demand. This how you know like the nigga I'm a partner with this nigga on a whole business.
Yeah, what y'all thought he was on demand, Dev?
And a lot of times
y'all
like,
got him fucked up. He's booked and busy.
How great his artwork is and the demand and priority is just not doable, bro.
I appreciate it, but fuck Dev. Dev ain't shit.
No, I'm just saying, Mad Balls
was the shit.
What I wanted to say was Mad Balls had a nigga like Dev.
Yeah.
Because Mad Balls used to come with like the spikes, a back, just create. And she
turned it. You know what? Monica, can you give it because she about to turn? Yeah,
Netta.
On me?
Yeah,
On my what's hot now it's not?
Yeah.
I know what's hot was. I know what's hot right now.
It's not me because I'm fucking cold. They got me naked out here. And next to Porta, I feel like I'm about to be the next.
Hey, listen. For
The next
listen.
victim.
Can you tell us your
My what's hot now it's not. It's cable TV.
Oh, that's a good one.
Why are you doing that, you perv?
Yo, listen. Let me
Cable TV.
Let me duck a little bit.
It's not here no more.
Hey,
We
yo,
all
listen.
got Hulu, Netflix. I'm talking.
Yo, who got his own cable?
Yo, I
I
100% agree with you.
I know.
Cable television, she is correct because now
That part.
what people do is they go and buy the premium
Fire
network
stick.
themselves. But even some people just buy HBO Max for $20,
yeah.
Right?
No, but
Yeah.
Hulu got its own. You could watch NFL live. You don't have to have cable no
Yeah,
more.
cable.
I got
Damn.
Stars. I got HBO. The apps. I just got the apps.
Now
I don't even have
imagine,
cable.
I
Fire.
was
Because
my
born, we
Wi-Fi
was
is
around
$10.
before when cable like was about to come out.
Yeah.
So imagine that. We was kids.
No.
Cable was like some new change the world shit because before that time period, every like section, every city or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
had its own, or region had its own shows. Meaning the shows that people had in New York wasn't the shows in New Jersey, wasn't the shows in...
And you guys could only watch it like live. Like you
But-
couldn't miss it and then watch it later.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
did they have like satellites and dishes on top of y'all roofs?
But them cable boxes got on my nerve. Hitting them buttons and them buttons used to get stuck. The button. The
Oh, they
press,
get sticky.
Oh,
the
he-
channel.
no. So listen.
They had a wide. It was
Let me-
like a keyboard.
No, let me tell
when
you
cable
something.
first came out, there was like a keyboard
Porter,
for the channels.
you jumped back to the point where she's looking at you because she even still grew up with digital cable.
They babies.
Yeah.
They babies.
She grew up with digital cable. He's talking about John looked like a fucking typewriter or a piano.
It looked like a keyboard. It came on a wire.
Yeah, so look, it was a wire. It was brown, look, wood, right?
wood grain.
Look, wood grain, right? Wood grain. You hit these buttons and then there was a switch on the side. Three
Right.
levels. So you was on the first button on level 1.
What?
First button
The only
on
reason
level
why
2.
I know this
First
is because
button
my
on level
mom don't
3.
get rid of nothing. My mom is obviously older. My mom is obviously older than you guys.
Yeah.
I used to have them
And
young
she
girls
don't get
over.
rid of nothing. When I tell you, we got 5 DVD players, 2 VHS players,
See, like, I
the
was
old
like,
TV. My mom
I
got a
remember
typewriter.
VHS.
My mom got a typewriter under her bed. Like she don't get rid of shit. So that's the only reason why I know
That's
that.
a good one.
That's
That
a
is
good
a
one, Monica.
that is a good one because they doing a lot of shit now
Yeah, it's
where like
clammy as shit.
fire sticks. I do fire sticks with fire chicks.
Oh, here we go. Listen, hey,
You
yo,
just
y'all.
sticks in
Listen,
your rods.
listen, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all my was hot.
Let's
now
go,
it's
bro.
not, right?
Let's go.
When I was growing up, you know what I'm saying?
Don't want to hear it.
No, that's fucked up.
always coming at us,
when I
bro.
was like, she's terrible. She's a hater.
A
so
whole
listen,
disrespectful friend.
when I was growing up, there were certain commercials that would come on TV all day long. I'm actually named 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
For whatever reason, the 80s was obsessed with pimple creams, like Oxy,
Yo.
just all day long. And the other thing was dandruff. Dandruff shampoo.
Yeah.
Everything was head and shoulders.
Head and shoulder heavy.
Every commercial was showing like a black surface with white powder on it. And
Yeah.
we didn't even know what dandruff was.
Right.
We didn't understand what dandruff was.
They was ODing with them commercials too, cause it'll look they have a nigga coming out of like an office with like a business suit on, and it'll look like cocaine on his shoulder. But the whole time it was really like supposed to be dandruff.
Exactly.
It
Dusting
was
the
like
shit away.
OD, cause you right. We didn't like nigga. It wouldn't- the hood for the hood to be like supposedly the dirty guys and the dirty people. We didn't do like we wasn't familiar with a whole bunch of dandruff.
Yeah.
Like we washed our.
But I think that could have been I don't know. I don't want to say nothing that's racially wrong because I don't know how scalps and shit like that work. I know that we didn't have issues with like lice and stuff like that because we had a different environment for them to live in. They couldn't really survive in the way our hair was.
And the pimple joints though. The pimple joints, Listen, they used to
Noxzema.
They used to and all that shit was suspect. I seen niggas in jail. That was a thing in jail. In jail coming up, niggas used to try to look like a million, right? For visits, you want to get your shit together, you want to come home with the glow. Niggas used to be in a Noxzema, Clear Cell, all that type shit.
That was on commissary?
Yeah, that shit, hell yeah, that shit was on Noxzema bars, the soap bars. They had Noxzema soap bars, the gold joints. They know, all the inmates know. But no bullshit. I used to still see niggas come to dinner bumpy as fuck, looking like Bumpy Knuckles. I used to be like,
Yo. Shout out the Bumpy Knuckles, man. That was one of the first people to offer me a record deal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bumpy Knuckles, man. That's a legend. Freddie Fox. You know what I'm saying? Rap motherfucking legend. We got the wheel out. We got the wheel out. We got the wheel out. Can we get a spin on the wheel? Lazy.
What do I get if I spin?
What do you get? You get one stone on your ass by Porta Rich.
I gotta go because Wally B's still pooping.
Yeah. Let's go. Porta got all the money.
Let's do it.
Twerk!
Hey. I love this money. Hey, come on. I'm giving the money. You should get the ball. Let's go.
Get out my way.
Let's go.
Move over, Porta.
Let's go.
Porta, you blocking the women. You blocking the main camera, nigga.
Where I'm at? Let's go. I got the money. Hold on. Here we go. You can't have without the money. Let's go. Devinwade Show. Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend. The Devinwade Show. We ain't going nowhere.
Yo, Porta don't got no microphone. That nigga just saying random shit. He's supposed to go behind the bar. This nigga don't know what he doing.